What's up, y'all? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Matt in the hat, John North Ford, Lincoln Nissan here in Emporia. It's been a minute since I've done this, but welcome to Car Confessions. I come to you, used to be every week. Things have been getting busy with pulling double duty on cars as well as real estate now. So I'm going to be coming to you still. It may not be every week, maybe every as often as I can get it. But I come to you guys and give you some type of sales topic, tip, or tactic, as well as some type of training, and discuss what's going on, something that's going to benefit you guys. So what are we talking about today? Here are my 4 tips for using money as a tool. And it is to be used as a tool. A lot of you guys will see I started a poll yesterday. It's going to run for a week, and I wanted to get some ideas and some feedback from everybody watching this. So if you're watching this video and you haven't voted on the poll, if you would please go to my personal page and search for that poll, answer yes or no, and then comment below as to why. So before we get into the 4 tips of using money as a tool, I want to do a little background of what we're talking about as far as money. So background of money, we've all heard it before. People always say that money is the root of all evil, and it is not money that is the root of all evil. If you're religious, you'll always hear people say, well, the Bible says money is the root of all evil. That is, in fact, false. If you look it up, it actually says, for the love of money is the root of all evil, not money itself. If Bible isn't your thing, I've got a couple other references that I can do. But just a quick side note, the Bible itself has over 2,000 verses that discusses money and wealth. I'm just going to let you sit with that for a minute. So, not religious? No problem. Movies, I know 2 movies that we've all talked about, we've all watched, we've all heard of: Wall Street and The Wolf of Wall Street. Wall Street, Gordon Gekko, played by Michael Douglas. His probably most famous quote, "Greed is good." And they did make a second one after he got out of jail, where he's quoted as saying, "Greed is not only good, but it's now legal." And that is part of the corruption of money that we're going to talk about later. The biggest quote while researching all this that stood out to me is from The Wolf of Wall Street. Jordan Belfort is quoted as saying, "There is no nobility in poverty." Now, what he means by that is, if you want to help somebody, be rich. If you can't be rich, you can give your time, donate your time away. But the best way that a lot of us can help out those less fortunate, help out others, is by donating money and giving to those who are less fortunate. So here's where they went wrong. It became about being selfish. It became both, the Bible and the movies. They got it wrong because they became selfish. They were not educated. It became all about the obsession of money and the status, what it can do for you as a status, not what it can be used as a tool. They also lost themselves in the money, got distracted by it, and therefore you saw the downfall. What they did get right is those that knew, that were successful, were educated about money. They researched it. They educated themselves. Sorry, I can't talk this morning. And they educated others, so they had a better understanding of it as well. And they realized that it could be used as a tool and should be used as a tool in order to be successful down the road. Finally, what they did get right is they ultimately used it to solve some type of problem. So here are 4 tips to use money as a tool. Number 1, know or learn what vehicle is going to get you there. Is it going to be real estate? Is it going to be investing? Is it going to be cryptocurrency? Hopefully, I don't know much about the crypto, just an example that I used. So I don't know what that looks like for you. For me, it is cars and real estate that are going to be my vehicles to get me to my financial goals and ultimately where I want to be. Number 2 is going to be creating a financial plan, not a budget. The difference between the two, financial plans are a way to increase your finances and you start the ball rolling with wealth creation, whereas a budget, you learn to live within your means and you focus on where to spend money, where to not spend money. A budget never teaches you how to increase your finances and increase your wealth. This year, one of my plans, mostly with real estate helping me, is going to be setting a financial plan and creating a financial plan and putting that into place. Number 3 is doing the math. What does that look like for you? Sit down and do the math as far as how much you want to make per year. Is that gross or is that net? Once you have that figured out, just work it backwards. So let's say you want to make $100,000 a year. Everybody chooses that because that's, the first digit, first 6-figure digit or number that people think about. So want to make 100 grand. Okay. So what does that break down to a month? I wasn't smart enough to bring a calculator with me or another phone to break that down on this live video. That's why I'm in sales. So I don't know what that math looks like. Once you break it down by month, break it down by week. So how many people do you have to talk to? How many people do you have to get in front of? What's your closing ratio? Again, if you're in sales. If you're not in sales, that's going to lead to number 4, which I'll talk about in just a minute. So once you sit down and do that math, figure out what that looks like. Can you do that with just one flow of income? Can you do it with 2? If you're going to do it with 2, what does that look like? Miles, what's up? Hey, thanks, brother. So $8,300 a month. What does it take to make $8,300 a month? Again, who do you have to talk to? Who do you have to get in front of? What does that look like? What does that look like for you? So it's a matter of figuring that out. In my situation, I would need to know what my closing ratio is, what my appointment ratio is, and work that out to see how many people that means I have to get in front of. How many people do I have to close? I'm not particularly proud of it, but my closing ratio is somewhere around the 33% mark. So I know for every 3 appointments that I have show up at the dealership, 1 of them will buy. And that is my goal every day, is to find 3 people to make solid appointments. And a lot of you watching this or listening to this later will know when I confirm an appointment, I will ask, will there be any reason that you will not be able to make that appointment? And that's what I do. So that's all with doing the math. Before we move on to number 4, just to give you guys a quick recap. Number 1 was what type of vehicle is going to get you to where you want to go. Whether that's your current job now with salary, hourly, whether that's real estate, whether that's investing. What does that look like for you, and what is it going to take for you to get there? Number 2 is create a financial plan, not a budget. Again, a budget focuses on where to spend money, where to not spend money. A financial plan teaches you how to increase your finances and starts that wealth creation. Number 3 is doing the math, working backwards. If I use the example of making $100,000 a year, what does that look like? How much does that a month? How much is that a week? What does that look like for you? And then knowing how many people, if you're in sales, how many people you have to talk to, how many people you have to get in front of, how many appointments you have to set. What of those appointments set, how many of those are you going to close? Do you know your closing ratio? Finally, number 4 is multiple flows of income. Very few people get to be successful, stay successful with only one flow of income. So whether it is buying and selling real estate. So if you're a realtor, that's what you do 100% of the time. What does it look like to have a second flow of income? Does that mean getting into the property management, rentals? That may be another income for you. Referrals could be another source of income if you're in real estate. So those are just a few examples of what I've come up with and wanted to talk to you guys about this morning. If you guys have any questions, if you agree, don't agree, I would love to hear back from you guys. Let me know. If you're watching this, I know a lot of you are watching this live. Those of you that are watching this on my YouTube channel, please make sure that you hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe. If you are listening to this in iTunes, help a brother out, leave a review. Preferably 5-star if you loved it, you got something from this. If you absolutely hated it and you can't believe that I'm talking about this, leave me a 1-star review. Let me know. Larry, thank you so much. So that's it. That's all I got. Thank you all for jumping on and watching. I'm Matt in the Hat, John North Ford, Lincoln Nissan, Keller Williams Diamond Partners. I do this because your experience matters. Take care, guys. I'll see you on the lot.